Welcome back, everybody, to the Keeping Score podcast presented by Corwin Motors. I am your host, Josh Amick. This week, we have some dominant performances from pitchers in Columbia Falls and Glacier, some rivalries on the track and the softball diamond, and plenty of tennis to highlight. So let's get into this week's highlights you might have missed. We're going to kick things off with a baseball game between Columbia Falls and Polson, in which Jett Pitts pitched a complete two-hit shutout on his way to striking out 15 batters for a 5-0 Columbia Falls win. Pitts had outstanding control over 7 innings, walking just one batter and striking out every Pirate in the lineup at least once. Cooper Ross doubled and had 2 hits for Columbia Falls with an RBI and a run scored. Wyatt Dotson went 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. Reggie Sapa and Trayson Murphy both doubled in the game. The other dominant performance from the week came from last week's poster player of the week, Olivia Warriner, who combined to pitch 7 2/3 scoreless innings Tuesday, but she wasn't done there. Warriner also broke a 4-4 tie with a 2-run single in the first game and helped Glacier sweep a home softball doubleheader from Butte 6-4 and 5-0. Warriner relieved Olivia Gibbons in the opener with 1 out and 2 on in the 4th inning, and Butte leading 4-1 on Reese Johnson's 2-run double. She got the next 2 Bulldogs to strike out and line out to end that threat. In the second game, Warriner scattered 6 hits in 4 innings with 2 strikeouts. Ava Grady threw the final 3 innings, fanning 3. Kaz Rankowski's RBI grounder broke a 0-0 tie in the 3rd inning, sparking a 4-run outburst. Warriner's RBI single made it 2-0, and the Pack went on to win 5-0 in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Glacier added another win on Thursday, beating Big Sky 6-4. Rankowski's 2-run home run in the first inning set the tone for the Wolfpack, who are now 11-2 overall and 7-2 in Western AA games. Olivia Gibbons and Carly Allen drove in runs with a single and a double in the 3rd inning, putting Glacier up 4-1. Warriner doubled and scored on Allen's sacrifice fly in the 5th, and Gibbons added an RBI single in the 6th. In other softball action, my game of the week was a matchup between Flathead and Columbia Falls. What was a defensive game came down to a tense, error-filled 7th inning where Columbia Falls held off non-conference softball foe Flathead 8-7 at Kidsport on Thursday. Annika Lawrence homered for the Wildcats, and leadoff hitter Addie Bowler had 3 hits and scored twice for the 2-time defending State A champions. Flathead had solo home runs from Reese Conley, Mackenzie Brandt, and Danica Hennel. Both teams scored 4 times in the 7th inning. In that 7th inning, the Wildcats scored 2 of their runs off of errors before Kylie Glysdale Davis hit a 2-run single to put her team up 7-3, and a sac fly from Kate Llewellyn brought in Sydney Burke with Columbia Falls' final run. Flathead responded with the run on an error. Macy McGollergy's RBI single and Olivia Nyman's sac fly closed the deficit to 8-6. Hennel brought in McGollergy with a 2-out single, but the next hitter struck out to end the game. The Wildcats split a pair of games at the Frenchtown Invitational, beating Dillon 9-2 before losing to Billings Central 15-9. Annika Reed went 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs, including a triple, as the Wildcats scored 6 runs in the 6 innings to beat the Beavers. Addie Bowler and Taylor Lingle added 2 hits apiece for the Cats, scoring 2 runs each, and Alexa Frisk knocked in 2 runs. Glysdale Davis added a double and scored 2 runs as Columbia Falls picked up 14 hits in the game. In Game 2, the Rams jumped out to an early 5-0 lead in the 1st inning before the Wildcats answered back with 4 runs of their own in their half of the inning, highlighted by Bella Mann's 2-run double. Mann added another double in the 4th and came around to score on a pass ball. Annika Lawrence went 2 for 4 with the double and 2 runs scored for Columbia Falls. Flathead dropped their doubleheader with Butte on Saturday. Butte pitcher Ashlyn Mullaney held Flathead to just 3 hits in Game 1, where Butte won 13-1. Mackenzie Brandt recorded the only RBI for the Bravettes. In Game 2, the Bulldogs got all the runs they needed in a 7-run first inning en route to their 15-4 win. Hennel had a 2-run single in the game to lead the Bravettes. Other baseball news to highlight this week was Reed Boyer, Max Barron, and Ryan Conklin combined on a 1-hitter, and Drew Queen drove in 4 runs to lead the Whitefish Bulldogs over Troy 11-1 in 5 innings in North A baseball action on Thursday. The Bulldogs' big inning was the 3rd. Avery Caton had an RBI base hit, Queen added a 2-run single, and Conklin capped the uprising with an RBI double for a 7-1 lead. Whitefish added another win on Monday. Avery Canton had a monster game, hitting an inside-the-park home run and drove in 6, and he also started on the mound for the Bulldogs as they beat the Browning Indians 21-1. Canton later added a double as Whitefish collected 18 hits on the day, 9 of them coming in their 13-run first inning. Moving on to track, Whitefish boys held serve on their home track, winning the team title at the ARM Invitational on Saturday. The Bulldogs' rival Columbia Falls won on the girls' side. With Sully Bolamer winning the triple jump and pole vault, the Wildcats' only 2 victories on Saturday. Columbia Falls scored 98 points. The Whitefish boys scored 101 points, with the Columbia Falls boys second at 88. Whitefish's Rachel Wilmot won the 100 meters in a quick 12.66 seconds and the 400 in 58.38, a season best and the best mark in Class A. The Bulldogs also saw wins from Sierra Gibb in the 3200. The Bulldog boys got a big day from senior Simon Douglas. He PR'd in both the 1600 and 3200, winning both, as well as Carson Gulick and Colby Minton. Big Fork also had wins and PRs from Alex Oakes in the high jump and Austin Savick in the 400. Cole Opry hitting his personal record in the pole vault was among the highlights of Glacier's home track and field duel with Missoula Sentinel on Friday. Opry cleared 14 feet 7 inches and sits second in all of Montana in that event. He was part of a Glacier sweep of Friday's duel. The Wolfpack boys won 84-66 and the girls won 88-51. Glacier got wins from Ben Winters in the shot put and Gabe Ackerley in the 3200. On the girls' side, Glacier's Brianna Barnes also hit a PR in the pole vault, clearing 11 feet to win the event. Riley Bigelow helped the Wolfpack girls with wins in the discus and shot put. Zyla Wagner won the 100 meters for Glacier, and Daisha Binkelman was victorious in the 400 meters. In tennis, the Whitefish girls swept a pair of duels against Hamilton and Corvallis on Friday. Allie Shores won a pair of singles matches for the Bulldogs, who beat Hamilton 5-2 and Corvallis 6-1. In doubles, Camry Kelch and Maggie Mercer teamed up to win 2 matches, as did Emmy Hansen and Aubrey Tombolt. Lizzie Holden was part of 2 winning double duos, teaming up with Sophia McCready against Hamilton and then with Desi Young against Corvallis. That is going to wrap up this week's episode of the Keeping Score podcast presented by Corwin Motors. I want to thank our sponsor and to everyone else who tuned in this week. Join us again next week where there will be plenty more spring sports to highlight as always. And until then, take care. Thanks to Corwin Motors for sponsoring the Keeping Score podcast. At Corwin Motors, they're proud to be family-driven for over 100 years. Their commitment goes beyond selling cars. They're dedicated to serving our community and providing you with the highest quality vehicles to fit your lifestyle. Whether you're searching for reliability, style, or comfort, they got you covered. They understand that you rely on their website for accurate and up-to-date information, and it's their promise to deliver relevant, detailed content that meets your needs. So if you're in the market for a new Chevrolet or just want to learn more, visit CorwinMotorsKalispell.com.